ever went down to Georgia, he was looking for
Yes, Charlie Daniels, Ben Brown, please.
Yes, this is Ben. Charlie, how you doing today?
I'm good. Ben, how are you, partner?
Good, man. I really appreciate you taking a little bit of time.
Well, I appreciate you talking to me. Glad to do it.
Yeah, tell us how the tour's going. How's the road treating you?
Road's treating me good. I'm so used to it. It's such a part of my life and has been for so long. It's just very routine to me. I tell people it's just ordinary for me to drive 500 miles and ride 500 miles to go to work as it is for them driving to town to take time to go to work. So it's just a very routine thing to me, you know.
It's home, huh?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Nice. Tell us about your earliest childhood music memory.
Well, I came up at a time when there were not near as many radio stations as there is now. It was days before FM radio, and it was just the AM stations. And if you had one in your town, you listen to it. If you didn't, you listen to one in the next town. And, of course, at night, you could pick up stations like WSM in Nashville and WLAC in Nashville and some of the Chicago stations in different places. But daytime, it was mostly just local stations.
Yeah.
And some of them were just daytimers. They went off at sundown. But they did try to fill the mandate of serving the community. And they played all kinds of music. It's often one every country. They did play something for the housewives and mid-morning. And then afternoon, when the kids came home from school, they'd play whatever the popular music of the day was. I remember one was Big Band. It was went to rock.
Right.
But I always gospel on Sunday, from the big formal church choirs to the little black gospel combos. And if you're in the Southeast, you're always exposed to blues. So I had a wide bunch of music that I listened to and was exposed to. And I think probably since that I had been exposed to that, that's why my variety of music runs so wide when I do original music. I
Right.
think it just all kind of creeps in, and I kind of pay homage to all of it.
Great. Awesome. I want to talk about the new album, but I want to talk about the first time you met Bob Dylan. What was that like?
Well, I was doing a session on National Skyline, and when I didn't know, I had heard all the stuff like everybody else had about the reclusive genius and this and that and the other thing, and I was just totally taken with the man because he was very down to earth. He was conversational. He had a sense of humor. He seemed to really enjoy doing the music with the guys in Nashville, and I just found him to be a thoroughly nice, likable guy.
Yeah. Right on. Because the new album, Doing It Dylan, let's talk about that a little bit.
Well, that's kind of offspring from those days of working on the Dylan albums. I was a fan and became an even bigger fan after that. I just want to pay homage to it. I like his music a lot. And basically, I just wanted to play some of it. I wanted to do Bob Dylan music, but I wanted to do it in our style.
Right.
So, I started just picking songs that I felt we could do in our own way, which we did. And, I felt that I'm very happy with the album came out.
Yeah, it sounds really good. Have you ever been starstruck? I mean, you've probably met everybody. I mean, has there ever been anyone that just, that even starstruck you a little bit?
If I was to meet Hank Aaron, I would probably be starstruck. He was kind of one of my heroes, because I remember when he protected the Atlanta Braves. And
right.
He's just a great player, and I think probably a great man. I've never met him. Not really. I'm not. I mean, I meet people I'm very honored to meet, very impressed to meet,
right.
But I don't really get starstruck. No.
Right. I had a friend of mine, Emmett Richards, was wondering how many bows do you go through on a tour, on a regular tour?
I don't go through as many as it looks like, because my technique is such that I actually hold the fiddle and the bow wrong, and I put too much pressure on the bow. And I just, it causes a hair to break on the bow. But when, a lot of times I keep changing out bows during the course of the set. A lot of people think that they're ruined, but they're not.
Right.
My road guy just takes them back and cuts the extra hairs off of them, and we keep using them.
Right.
And of course, we'll finally get down to the point where we have to change them around. But I give away more bows than I wear out, actually.
That's awesome. Yeah, because they're always they're nappy, and they're just because you, like you say, you push down too hard, but that's what makes your sound so special.
Well, it does sound pretty funky.
Definitely. Tell us about the day that you wrote "The Devil Went Down to Georgia."
I was a necessity to have a fiddle tune. We had written and rehearsed an album for the material for an album that would be called Me and My Reflections, and went to the recording studio and started doing it, and came to the glaring realization that we didn't have a fiddle song. And why we didn't do that before we went in to record, I don't know, but we didn't. And so took the equipment out of the recording studio and moved into the rehearsal studio, and then started writing. And I just had this idea in my head. Bill went down to Georgia, and the guys started playing on it. So, here we went. I went off and wrote the lyrics to it. First thing you know, we had a song.
Nice. And did you ever think it would turn into such a massive hit?
No, I didn't. Well, I didn't know what it was going to do. I didn't realize. I thought it would be a good song for us. I thought it would be a winner for us.
Right.
But I didn't know. Of course, I had no idea. We'd be talking about it here, 34 or 5 years after the fact.
Right, because that was a Grammy for you, right? That was a good one.
Oh yeah.
I mean, how happy was that day when you got your Grammy for that song? What was that feeling?
Well, it was very happy, except my arm was broken.
Oh no!
I had it in a sling, but I was still happy. That Johnny Cash and June Carter presented the award, which made it that much more special.
Yeah, that's actually leading into our next question. And what was it like working with the Man in Black, Johnny Cash?
I didn't really work with him that much. We did a couple of shows together, but it was an honor to be around him. He was a true superstar.
Right.
I mean, a very unassuming one, not in the way we used to think of superstars as being flamboyant and all that sort of thing. He was just a very down to earth Arkansas guy that had a very unique talent that sustained him and his career for decades, that he was still a big star right after the time he died.
Yes, he's amazing. I like your social media pic with B.B. King. B.B. King, yeah, that was. What was that night like when you got that picture with him and you guys hugged, and that was a really cool picture.
Yeah, I don't remember which occasion it was. I don't know which occasion it was around him. I've been around him a couple times. It could have been at the Bendel Opera House years ago, or it could have been at the Volunteer Jam, and I don't remember which occasion it was, but I was always honored to be around him. I always enjoyed hearing him play. He was one of my very favorites.
Definitely. Is there any hot young fiddle players out there that you've come across or that you're hearing now and then?
I'm sure there's a lot of them. I don't really know a bunch of them. There's a young lady named Natalie Snowball that's going to play with us on the jam. Which, I haven't heard her play yet. They say she's very good.
Do you have a message maybe to the youth out there if they're listening? Is there any pointers you can give the youth?
Yeah, I would say, use your good sense.
Right.
Be yourself. Don't try to be somebody else. Be yourself. Use your good sense. You know when something's wrong and something's right. You know what's bad for you.
Definitely.
You know what's good for you. Respect your parents. Respect authority. Go ahead and get your education. You're going to need it.
Right.
You may think you won't, but you're going definitely to need your education. And make something out of your life. Don't end up 30-year-old bum.
Right.
It's very easy to do.
Yes.
If you don't watch what you do when you're in your teens, that's exactly where you're headed. And my personal advice would be, find the Lord.
Right.
Find Jesus.
Definitely.
That's the biggest thing you'll ever do.
Great. Words of wisdom from the great Charlie Daniels. Well, Charlie, we want to thank you. We just want to keep it short. It's 10 minutes with Charlie Daniels. God bless.